I mean, since you already mentioned Manchester City, let's just go over and talk about Man City. They will not be thinking about their past failures. That's according to Pep Guardiola. He says all the failures they've had at the Champions League and, of course, against Bayern Munich, their illustrious European history, will not face them today, according to Pep Guardiola, saying, look, we're coming to play against Bayern Munich, and we're not going to be playing against their histories, 11 versus 11. And I mean, we're just going to try to come and win. In fact, he went for that to say, look, we're not coming here to defend 3-0. We're coming here to try to win on the day. Let's take a listen to Pep Guardiola speaking, saying that City will not dwell on their past failures in the Champions League.
We try to do better than the opponent in this specific game. If you think about just the result, on what you have to do or we have done in the past will be a big mistake for us. We have to do our game, and that's what we talk these last days, and we prepare the game for that reason. I don't understand the situation that come here just to defend something. We come here to play one football game. 11 men against 11 men that we try to do better than the opponent in this specific game. If you think about just the result, on what you have to do or we have done in the past will be a big mistake for us. We have to do our game, and that's what we talk these last days, and we prepare the game for that reason.
All right, Tunji, what do you have to say about what Pep Guardiola said? I mean, we've seen games like this in the past in his time as City manager. First, it was Monaco. They were leading 5-3 going to the second leg. A lot of people felt maybe there could have been some restraint. Also, there was Spurs. Against Liverpool, they didn't have an advantage. But, you know, a lot of people felt maybe they were too open. You know, some felt maybe they were too open against Real last season. But this time around, it's 3-0 against Bayern Munich. And City are in the form of their lives. 14 games winning run as we speak. Do you think it makes sense for Pep to go over to Germany and still be trying to win the game?
Well, a much more pragmatic manager will go into that match and say, yeah, of course, a draw takes me through to the next round of the competition. But what Guardiola has done this season that has been so different from the previous seasons that he has been manager of Man City is the fact that he has actually become kind of pragmatic. Maybe it's because of the amount of years that he has spent in England. But there was a reason why he signed Olatunji as a central defender. He has also been holding up central defenders recently. And it's the fact that he needs to play in a very pragmatic way in which his defense can also defend and also attack at the same time, which is why City are playing 4 centre-backs this season. So you have Nathan Ake as your left back, but you also have John Stones playing this hybrid position as your right back, but also as a defensive midfielder, which means that whenever City are defending, they are much more solid than they were maybe a couple of years ago. Like you mentioned, in that game against Monaco a couple of years ago, that was so open. But the game against Spurs, where I think they should have won quite easy, but they were also open as well. But more importantly, this season, what Guardiola has done has actually been able to convince his players to actually buy into some of these things. Take a case in point in the first leg of that game against Bayern Munich, the second goal that they scored. 3 players did things that they were not really supposed to really do, or they were not really known for. Jack Grealish is not really known for trying to pass the ball the first time. He's known for trying to hold the ball, passing the ball to Haaland. Haaland is not known for creating assists. Haaland is known for trying to hit the ball straight up. Just pass it to him, he hits it. But Haaland was able to be aware of mine to cross the ball to Bernardo Silva, who is not known for his northern prowess either. So the fact that City players are doing stuff like this shows that the team knows now that they need to be able to go outside of their comfort zone. You don't need to pass. Do we need to defend? Yeah, we need to defend. So Guardiola has become more pragmatic, which means that his pragmatism now gives him a better chance of winning the Champions League than ever, because the fact that he's now pragmatic means that you cannot catch him on a race. City are not going to be conceding those silly goals that they concede on the counter in semi-finals of Champions League again. They won't be conceding goals like they considered against Chelsea in the Champions League final a couple of years ago, because they know that they need to be very, very defensively solid. So he will go to Bayern knowing that he has already won the tie, regardless of what he's saying in that press conference. He knows he has won the tie. He knows that Bayern Munich will definitely be open enough for them to get a couple of goals. Of course, you have Alan. Alan will get you goals. There is no way. I don't see Bayern Munich winning this match. I don't even see them qualifying for the semi-finals of the Champions League. I think this is going to be City's competition, judging by the fact that the things I've said, which is number one, he is playing 4 defenders at the back, but those 4 defenders are giving him the attacking tools that he needs to actually get goals going. But also the players are buying into the fact that they need to do things that they are not known for. Alan is creating assist. Grealish is passing the ball first time. Bernardo Silva is not in the ball. These are things that shows you that this is a team that knows that it's now or never for them.
For Bayern Munich, on the other side, they've sacked their manager, their previous manager now, Julian Nagelsmann. One would assume maybe because of some of their performances, maybe even in this competition, although they had won all their games before Thomas Tuchel lost against Manchester City last week. For Tuchel, it's been topsy-turvy. It hasn't been a great start to life at Bayern Munich. But this is an opportunity for him to try to redeem himself. If he comes and produces a remontada today and then, they somehow manage to go through against City, maybe it could kickstart something at Bayern Munich. But let me just take your thoughts on Thomas Tuchel's first 6 games as manager of Bayern. He's had just 2 victories. Hasn't been a great start, been knocked out of the DFB Pokal, absolutely trashed by Man City at the Etihad, and a couple of draws right there. What's been your feeling about Thomas Tuchel's reign as Bayern Munich manager so far, albeit quite early days over there for the German?
Well, like you said, it's actually early days for him. But the thing is, coming into a team like Bayern Munich that has been well oiled by Julian Nagelsmann mid-season, it's going to be quite difficult to imprint your own style of football on them. So what Tuchel has been doing so far has been the fact that he has just been working with what he has on ground. In the sense that Nagelsmann really wasn't sacked because of his tactical shortcomings or anything. He was let go because of the fact of some boardroom infighting, or the fact that he was doing some things that was not really becoming of a Bayern Munich manager. It's been an underwhelming start for Tuchel, definitely, because we could see last weekend against Offenheim when they drew 1-1 against a team that was fighting relegation. Judging by that result, looking at the result from face value, we probably think that they didn't play well. But they actually played well. They had shots on target. They had an XG of more than 3, but they were not able to score goals. Against Man City in the first leg as well, I think they played well until when Rodrygo scored that out of worldly goal again, that gave Man City the lead. But for Tuchel to be judged properly, it will be until next season. I think the hierarchy at Bayern, likes of Oliver Kahn and Hasan Salihamidzic, know that maybe they made a mistake by bringing him in at this time of the season. But also they'll probably defend themselves by saying that Nagelsmann will be in the process of using the Bayern Munich dressing room, and they need to take action at that moment. So Bayern Munich hierarchy won't judge Tuchel this season. I don't think his job is at that church whatsoever. And as for the tie tonight, I think they will just go into that match knowing that they need to give a performance that is way better than what they've been giving. The loss against Freiburg in the DFB Pokal was heart-wrenching. The late goals they've been conceding, the draws against Offenheim, they need to know that they need to put up a good performance. So for Tuchel this night, it's going to be more about the performance than the result, because they have the German Bundesliga to win. Then from next season, he will now be judged by the performance of this team.